Hello students, we have been doing Tennyson's poem Ulysses since last two lectures. Today we will be able to finish this poem. The lines we have already done are 42 lines, and now we have from 43 to 70 lines that we have to analyze. Dear friends, what we have understood from this poem up to now is that Ulysses is the speaker of this poem. He is the central figure of this poem, and he is speaking about his past journeys, past adventures, past discoveries, and about his future plans as well. He has returned from a long journey and now at home, but he doesn't find himself comfortable living at home with his old wife and uncivilized people of Ithaca. He was the king of Ithaca, as we know very well. So he says that he would not spend his remaining life just at sitting at home, but he would like to go for some more adventure and to search something new and to know something much more. Although he has learnt so much from the different states, different cultures, different manners, and he has also fought so many battles and won them. So, addressing his followers and his crew, he is giving such kind of the speech that they would not stay at home but will go for their next journey in order to search or learn the new knowledge. Then, in the second half of the poem, Ulysses, the speaker of this poem, the king of Ithaca, he speaks about his own son Telemachus, and he thinks that his son is quite suitable to run the state of Ithaca. He is quite intelligent, he is quite tactful and knowledgeable, that he would deal all the problems of the state in a better way or effectively. He would also teach the people of Ithaca the cultures, the manners. In fact, he would educate them. That what he thinks or that what he believes, that his son is quite able. He also believes that his son will worship the god and goddesses of their family, as well as he would abide all kind of the duties of their family. So he is Ulysses says that now he is free to leave the state of Ithaca in the hands of Telemachus his son, and he can go for the newer horizon in order to search the new horizon. This is what, dear students, we have so far understood from this poem. Now let's go with these lines, and this is the third part of this poem. Here Ulysses gives us the description how he prepares himself for the next journey. He says, "There lies the port, the vessel puffs her sail. There gloom the dark, broad seas, my mariners, souls that have told and wrought and thought with me, that ever with a frolic welcome took the thunder and the sunshine, and opposed free hearts, free foreheads. You and I are old. Old age hath yet his honor and his toil. Death closes all." So now the poet, through the mouthpiece of the speaker Ulysses, says that Ulysses is now addressing his crew, his followers, pointing the port and the vessel, that is the ship. He tells them that there lies the port and the vessel, that is the ships, is ready for sailing, and they should start the sailing. There gloom the dark broad seas, and before them there is the dark, wide, glooming seas that they have to sail. My mariners, so he addresses them, my dear mariners, my dear crewmen, souls that have told and wrote and thought with me. You have been with me all the times. You have those souls. You are those people who have told with me, you have worked with me, you have fought with me, you have thought with me as well as that ever with a frolic welcome to. And sometimes you have fought, you have faced, you have welcomed very happily all those troubles, all those problems that came in their way. The thunder and the sunshines, just like the thunder and the sunshine, as well as opposed free hearts. And you have also opposed me with free heart wherever, wherever you felt. That is, my dear mariners, you have been always with me in the all kind of situations, in the good situations as well as in the bad situations. And with free heart and with free foreheads, you have always supported me. You and I are old. Then he says that both of us are now old. No doubt we are old. But old age hath yet his honor and his toil. But old age has its own pleasures, own honors, own toils. We people have our other respects in this old life, because it is only death which closes all, not the old age. So the old age has its own pleasures, own challenges, honors, toils, labors, etc. It's not death, because it is the death which closes all the aspects of life, all the lives. So he says कि until we are living or till we are living, whether we are old or young, but we have the energy, we have the those daunting hearts, we have the power, we have the confidence to fight, to go for new knowledge, new regions, new fields, new discoveries, new explorations. So, this is what Ulysses speaks in these lines. So, he says that he reminds them that they always accepted joyfully whatever their travel would bring, whether trouble or good luck. So, all the time his followers have stood with him in all kind of situations and conditions, and they have proudly faced every problem and obstacle with resolution and bravely. So this is what he says here, and he also believes that they can still work, do hard work and earn respect. Soon they will die and their chance to do great deeds will be ever. So until they are living, until they reach to the death, they can do other better. They have the opportunities to do the better actions, and after death their great deeds will be over. So this is what in these lines he speaks this way. Now let's see another lines. Next lines of this poem. But something at the end, some work of noble note may yet be done. So he says कि before we reach to the end, before we die, so something before the end, before the death, some work of a noble note, some work of the noble action, nobility, better, can be done, may yet be done, can still be done. So they can still do some great noble work before their life ends, before they reach to death. Not unbecoming men that strove with goats. That is becoming men that strove with goats. They can also work like those men who strove, who fought with goats against goats. So here Ulysses is referring to the Satan and his army who fought against God in the paradise or in the heaven. They challenged the authority of God. So here he says that we people can also fight with gods as well as with the new things. The lights begin to twinkle from the rocks. Then he describes the time, that now it's time of sunsetting. The lights are twinkling from the rocks. The long day wanes. That is, the day is now ending. Sun is going to set. The slow moon climbs, and the moon is climbing slowly up in the sky. The deep mourns round with many voices. And many voices, many mourning voices, crying voices are also coming from the deep of the rocks and the mountains. So, my dear friends, come. It's not too late to seek a newer world. So, we are not late now. We are not late still now to find a newer world, a new universe. So he says the night is falling, moon is rising in the sky, the waves of the sea are murmuring, almost as if they are speaking to Ulysses. So he urges his crew that and as his friends to join him on one last voyage. Even now, they are not too old to explore some unknown region of the world. So he requests his crewmen to come with him for one last voyage before they die. Now let's go with the another lines of this poem. Push off and sitting well in order smite the sounding furrows, for my purpose holds to sail beyond the sunset and the baths of all the western stars until I die. It may be that the gulfs will wash us down. It may be we shall touch the happy isles and see the great Achilles whom we knew. So, in these lines, Ulysses is inviting his crewmen to board on a ship, to board the ship and push away it from the shore. That is, to begin their journey. And he also tells his men to oars the ship so that they can beat the waves of the sea, the sounding furrows. For my purpose holds to sail beyond the sunset, because he says that his purpose is to sail beyond, is to go to the goal that is beyond the sunset, because he still has the goal of sailing past the horizon as far as he can go before he ultimately dies. So he wants to go even beyond the sunset. and he wants to bath of all the western stars. He wants to enjoy, he wants to bath with all the western stars before he dies. That is, he wants to reach those stars which shines in the west and side. It may be that the gulfs will wash us down. Here Ulysses is also aware of the dangers that will come in their journey. So he describes that it may also happen that the gulfs will wash us down, will throw us down and we may die. Or it may also possible that we shall touch the happy isles, that is the heaven, and there we can meet with our great Achilles whom we knew. So great Achilles, the Greek adventurers and explorer, famous. So he says that if they touch the heaven, happy isles, they will be able to meet with their ancestors, and one of them is the great Achilles, the great fighters, great adventurers in the heaven. So warriors of the Achilles, they are the old companions. They have also fought with Ulysses, but now they have died. So if they also die and meet with the happy heaven, then they would be able to meet with their ancestors and their warriors. So this is there in these lines we have, and then the last lines of this poem. Now we have, though much is taken, much abides, and though we are not now that strength which in old age moved earth and heaven, that which we are, we are. One equal temper of heroic hearts, made weak by time and fate, but strong in will, to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. So here Ulysses describes sage that though much is taken, though they have learned, they have won, they have taken much, much abides, and it is still much more that they have to take, that they have to fight, they have to get, they have to see, they have to invent, they have to discover. And though we are not now that strength which in old days, and he also says that we are aware that we don't have that energy and power and strength which they had in the past or in the ancient, when they fought so many battles and won so many things. At the time when they had the strength and the power, they moved earth and heaven, that is, they did the great accomplishments. They achieved much more because at that time they had the power and the strength and courage to move the earth and heaven. To move the earth and heaven means doing the impossible things. That which we are, that we have done, we are, and we are made of that. Whatever we are of the past. And now we are one equal temper of heroic hearts. Again, we all with one equal temper of the heroic hearts, having the heroic hearts, one temper, that is one temperament, one choice, one will, one determination, made weak by time and fate, though it is made weaken by time and fate, because time and fate is not in favor of us now, but strong in will to strive to seek. But our will is strong. We are powerful in our will. Our determination is strong. We want to do something great. That is important. And that is strong in their mind and heart. It may be that the time and fate may weaken them, but they are powerful in their willingness. For what? To strive, to seek, and to find. So to seek, to know, to find, to strive, to do struggle, and never to yield, never to surrender, never to give up. So maybe that their bodies have been weakened by old age, something all human beings are destined to face, but their spirits are as strong as ever. So they remain determined to work hard even now to pursue their goals and complete them, accomplish them, and never to give up, never to surrender. But they will die doing the struggles continuously. So, this is what, dear students, we have this poem. I think you have understood this poem well. The PDF of this lecture will also help you to go through the poem and understand the meaning and etc. So far, the critical comment, that is, there is the reference of the Paradise Lost, Satan and God, and sometimes we also find that the speech of Ulysses is equal to the speech of Satan. As Satan speaks to his followers and his crewmen when they were thrown into the when they were hurled into the hell by the God, by the Almighty power, where they consumed, where they confused, unconscious for a long time. But when they recovered, they come into the consciousness. Satan spoke, addressed his army, and how he addresses, that is very beautiful. He also speaks in the same way as here Ulysses speaks, that they are determined. They have the power of will. He says, I remember only 2 or 3 lines. Ki, what though the field be lost, all is not lost. The unconquerable will, etc. So this is how he speaks. Satan speaks, the unconquerable will, and here we have the same thing. That is to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield, but strong in will. So this is the unconquerable will. Here, Ulysses also addresses these followers, these crewmen, that they have that determination, they have the strong willpower, and therefore they will go in search of knowledge, in search of other inventions or discoveries, etc. So you can divide the whole poem into 4 themes. There are 4 themes. 4 things have been described in this poem. Number 1, mortality and aging. That is, Ulysses talks about the mortal beings as well as about the immortal beings. They are mortal, they have also become old. So here is also the description of the old age in the very beginning as well as throughout the poem. And mortality, he also talks about the death, that death is inevitable to them, but before death comes to them, they will do something great. Adventure and knowledge. The poem also describes about the adventures. Ulysses has done already many adventures, taken many adventures. He has also received many knowledge of the different customs, different cultures, different costumes, designs, fashions, clothes, etc. through his journeys. Caution and versus recklessness. And here he also talks about the caution, that is the warnings, as well as recklessness, that is about his own son. And he believes that his son is not a recklessness. His son is full of energy, full of knowledge, full of tact, full of intelligence and IQ, etc., to govern the people of Ithaca. And heroism, and he also cautions about the challenges, about the dangers which will come into their way, into their journey. So he already cautions his followers. Heroism and overcoming limitations. And then he also talks about the heroism, whatever they have achieved, and now whatever they are going to achieve. That is, they don't want to sit at home, but heroically they want to learn something new knowledge, new discoveries. So, this is how this poem has been written by Tennyson. So, thank you very much, friends. I hope you will enjoy this poem. In our next video, we will meet with new poem.